What up, everybody? Welcome back to Talk to Me or whatever. We are here with a very special guest, as always, my co-host, one of my co-hosts, Young Wine. We have David, our cousin, right here. Um, Pretty much, we got him on the podcast because he's got some big dreams, big ideas. He's trying to make it big in this business that he does and stuff like that. So we're trying to get at him and kind of pick his head a little bit. But first, like we were talking before, I was talking about like, did you see the new Captain America?
Yeah, I saw the new Captain America, bro. I thought it was dope.
Yeah.
What's up? Y'all should know me. I got the miscellaneous podcast too. I had them on, so it's
Oh,
pretty cool.
yeah. I
We
forgot.
were
I didn't even detail position. Yeah, he has his own podcast. We been on his podcast. I believe we had choices of characters we discussed and stuff like that of Marvel and DC. Who would we go do our top five as well? That was actually a pretty fun podcast to be on the line.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's the host of the miscellaneous podcast. We were like, we're his first guest, right?
Yep, yep.
Yeah, we were his first guest.
Oh, and I think I'm not. I'm instead of being selfish, a little selfish here. I think I have either rivaled or I have the most views of the podcast episodes.
Oh, you by
Yeah, I
yourself?
think you're there. I think you're there.
Why well, I do another one? If I gotta be more interesting, I guess that's great. No, definitely, man. It was crazy because like on your podcast, we talked about yourself. I talked about myself. We learned a lot about each other. We discovered that we both realized that we have to take care of ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, all that stuff. And we've been in two different ways. We learned different backgrounds. You learned stuff about me you didn't know. That was pretty crazy. I learned some stuff about you I didn't know, and it was just fun. Like I said, it was a good time because I mean it's like we're cousins and all that, but we really don't hang out a lot. You know what I mean? But
Right,
we've been
right.
able to kick it on Fortnite or Brawlhalla and get to know each other a lot more, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, one of the fun facts, man. Like you said, we get on Brawlhalla or Fortnite. But when I was eating my cookies, and I was like, "Yo, Moo, what's your favorite all-time go cookie?" And then like you were like, "Oh, I like Oreos." I'm like, "Bro, that's what I'm eating right now. That's my shit." But like a lot of good things, man, that comes with for me with getting on the game. One actually, it's a very good stress reliever. Even though when we lose, I'm like, but it's a good stress reliever, and it's a good way to meet people. Obviously like Trey, and like we were playing with Trey's homie earlier. Then you get to
Yeah.
meet all these people, right? And we're just talking about like WWE and the boxing fights, and we just kind of get to collab and just make it fun. Me and Rich actually did a tournament today.
It was
Oh,
very interesting because the thought of it all was we've been playing this game for so long and we've been just playing there for no reason, and then we came across learning that they had like well, we become such big fans of this game, and we found out they had what's called like competitions, and we were so upset learning late earlier this year that last year they had their world championships in San Diego. Now, one thing about me and David we have in common, our home away from home, one of our many homes away from home is San Diego. And I was like, bro, we should have gone. And I know for sure he would have been so down to do that if we had known. But then, and then now the one this year is going to be in Orlando. And I'm like, we can wait, we can wait, we can wait. But anyways, learning these findings, we found out that we can compete. And there's spots of money from like five figures, local places that are like $100, $500. And I'm like, dude, we've been spending our time playing it, playing ranked, trying to get better for nothing. Let's try and make some money off of it. And I'm pretty
yeah.
sure after that, we're going to network some more, meet some more people, et cetera, and just expand from there. But we had our competition today, and I was like, you know what? For my style of playing, I'm kind of like, I feel like my fighting style is kind of like all arounder, but more passive. Like you choose how you lose, Taekwondo type style. You know what I mean? You tell me
Yeah.
how you want to lose, and I'll pick my shots. I'm very much more patient. But what I see for David, he's much more like risk taker style. And he does win a lot of them for sure. But when he doesn't, like I'm there to back him up because I pick my shots. So I was thinking we need to come with a game style that works for us where you go crazy with hella defense and knock everybody out while I come in with speed and do some damage at the very least.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm trash, man. You guys always carry me. I'm not a big fan of Brawlhalla, as you guys know this, but I still play because I'm like fucking. I'm playing with my cousin, my brother, and like, yeah, you guys get down, man. You guys are pretty crazy.
I enjoy Brawlhalla, bro. Reminds me of Super Smash Bros. In a way. But the competitions are one of the things that Rich didn't mention. So there is local competitions like lower levels, like where we need to be right now, and we just straight up signed up for like the world class like championship, like the top tier players of the world. And I think we got past like we won the first round and then we lost, but still like I think the experience it was kind of cool. Definitely want to do it again, but in lower classes where we can kind of develop that because there's crazy things that they do as teams that we still need to learn. But it's a real fun game if you're a thinker like me. I'm more like bull in the china shop. I just go in and I try to just massacre everything I see. And
Yeah,
it's just I try to change my style. I just can't. Kind of when we play Fortnite, move. I always say like get back, get back. You're like I got too excited and I went in. Like it happens, right? You just get excited, you go in, and you go from there. But Like I said, it's definitely. I always say a wise man once said, or a great philosopher once said, and then Rich is always like, I said that, and it's kind of just hilarious. But it's a pretty good game, so I can't wait to do more tournaments. And we
Yeah,
stream them. I'm gonna start streaming them. So
yeah,
And
yeah,
then we found
definitely.
out that they have just so you know, Moo, they have also competition for Fortnite. So ranked 4v4, and we could win like $200. I don't even know what it is the pull is for that, but we learned that you can do that too. And I was like, well, dude, like we're already playing the game, might as well make some money off the game, and at least try to at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's crazy when us four play with either someone like when it's Juanito, you, me, and David, and when it's us. I think we just have really good communication when we really try. But most of the time, I think we're just trying to have fun, and it's kind of funny because it's really true. Like we do have good communication, and we do get a lot of dubs when we play together. And when it's us four, I've noticed that.
yeah. Also Ernie, man, shout out to Ernie. That boy gets down.
So many, bro. Even Sammy,
Trey,
bro.
Trey, Sammy,
Yeah,
Sammy,
Trey.
Trey, Trigger Man, Trey, bro. You could always depend on Trey to just get some shots
yeah.
off, bro.
I
He's
mean,
a
like,
shotter.
like not like I played with Trey by myself. Like we do 2-on-2, whatever. We do dubs. I'm sorry, duos. And I mean, dude, he's just like me. We run in and we're just get into that mode. And I'm like, damn, hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's like, I mean, I'm like, I'm already there.
The thing that I
Uh,
think makes Rich
I
a
think
good.
we have the same style too. We run in, we just pop, pop, pop. But then he's like, yo, like chill out, chill out. I'm like, fuck, I'm already in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's all sniper,
Yeah.
sniper. And I'm like, dude, like I already ran in. But I mean, it's just like I'm that gun hole. I'm the grunt. I just run in, like there's no, you know what I'm
No,
saying?
see,
Like I know I'm gonna die. I could care less. Like I'm gonna say, I think we won one because I sacrificed myself one time. I'm like, I'm gonna go out there, and you guys saw the shooter, got him out of there.
yeah, no, I think what makes us a good team is like when Rich isn't playing, like I become that like, hey, pull back. Like I become that person. But when Rich is playing, he gives you that sense of security, man. He gives you like that, hey, the ring's closing. Hey, like he's always so like technical about like, hey, the ring, follow the ring, this, and so it kind of like eases my mind to just kind of go because I'm like, I got somebody to remind me, like, hey, this is what's going on. And that's kind of like his strategic way of playing. So it's good to have people like that, right? Because like, you go in, Juan goes in, I go in, like, and it's always like, oh, I gotta go save you guys again. Like he gets in his car and he's dipped, bro. But it's just like that strategic gameplay that he has that I think, a lot of people need on the team. So I was like, I'm really excited to actually try to do a Fortnite tournament, you know, um, and see how we do in Fortnite, man. But it'll be solid to try to see how we do. But yeah, dude, it's fun. I mean, for me, it just allows me to unwind, bro, to just unwind and you know take some time off of like the real world, basically. Like take some time off of all the stuff. But you know, um, I never
Let
get told
me
not to
let
play
me share
games.
my thoughts on what you just said right here. I grew up playing chess, growing up playing chess, so watching what each piece, each character on the board is good at, watching their strengths. And the thing about me is I can change the role, like a chameleon. I can change the role of any person I need to be to fit the team, right? So like when I see Trey coming in like a shooter, but he can shoot, I know I need to get him support. And then you guys go in, I know I need to bring health with me because you guys don't probably think about dying. You guys think about like I'm gonna do as much damage as I can and take them with me, as many people as I can with me. When I come up the hills and always thinking about the escape strategy, I'm like, yeah, when you shoot, you're giving yourself away because other people hear that. Third party winning is a strategy. People third party all the time to win. And I was like, so if we shoot, we give ourselves away. I'm thinking about the exit first. If shit gets crazy, how do we get out of here? And
Yeah,
also position is very, very important because if I can shoot you and you can't shoot me, that increases the chances. So just watching how everybody plays and trying to figure out where I best fit or where I need to go in order to help everybody win. Because like I said, even in Brawlhalla or Fortnite, when they're on gaming, it's like um they're not getting, but like Brawlhalla, it's like people are here to play, or they're here to fight. I'm not here to fight or play. I'm here to win the game. And how do we do that? What increase the chance of doing that? But yeah, that's what I do.
definitely love chess, bro. I love chess too. Um, but I play chess the same way, man. That's one of the games that I do know you have to be real strategic when you play, and I enjoy it. And I think it ties into a lot of aspects of life, right? So for me, when I get to game and I get to get on the game, that's another thing too. Like I never get told not to get on the game by my wife, which is kind of weird when I hear people like, "Oh, gotta get on." Like I don't gotta do shit. But like I think for me, like she understands, like, oh, I'm out there a lot, and I just need my days off to just be exactly that. Is a day where I can just be like, I'm just do my thing, relax for a little bit, get some laughs in. But like I said, I think that having that understanding of like I don't need to go nowhere, just chill with you guys, talk, have a good laugh, you know, crack a beer here and there, and just be like, oh, how's this going? And what's your plan? What you got going on? Me and Rich actually came up with a lot of ideas while we are on the game. And it's quick, bro. Like we come up with shit quick, and it's something that I think that having that mindset of working together like that is kind of like, to me, like something that people won't probably realize. Like Rich, he said like we got big things coming, and when people think of that, and be like, what, David and Rich, like what the fuck, and it's kind of like you just never know. But it's like those minds of like, we just, I think we constantly are thinking about things. At least I am. I can be like, hey, I want to do this, and how about we try to do this. And come up with different ideas. And he'd be sending me message sometimes like at 12. I'm like, now I don't respond back, or he'll send it like at 9. I respond back at like 1 in the morning, but I think that that's something that gaming brought me closer to you guys, and get to pick the brains as well, right? Like Rich been telling me, how long, Rich? You've been telling me forever, podcast, do your podcast. I'm like, hey, finally did it. Like I said, I think that we kind of have similar mindsets when it comes to entrepreneurship, and that's kind of, I think, why we gravitate towards each other on coming up with these ideas. But you want to tell me a little bit about what we're doing, Rich?
Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to say was it's good to figure out like who like when you meet people and get to know people more, you get to know that what roles they might fit best at. So when you get to know people, so I had to like be like, hey, well, you're very good at talking. You could be a streamer, or like Sammy. I always tell him all the time, and for years I've been telling Sammy, Sammy should be a streamer because he's so animated when he's playing the game. He is not
Yeah.
Sammy. He is literally Master Chief of Halo or whatever game he's playing. Right? He's literally Mason from Call of Duty. But one thing I want to say before I get started here is what's that behind you behind your back right there, David?
Check it out. So basically, it's our logo. It's stands for JCS. It's Jaime Healthcare Solutions. But it's basically, what we do is we get struggling companies that have like a lot of registry, or they just don't know how to do their finances, have central supply issues, hiring issues, and we try to direct hire for them, getting them the right pieces, creating a good culture. I've done it, for like 15 years. And it's fun. You get to meet a lot of people. You throw out barbecues, you can do carne asadas and just kind of create a good team bonding. I recently, ventured to go off on my own just because I was tired of being contracted and being somebody's boss in a way, or being, having a boss basically. Um, and for me, I think that it's a big stepping stone. But I told Rich, I'm like, yo, I have this idea, and I'm gonna try to do this. And I'm like, I need people on my team that I know have the same vision, because I don't want to be like, hey, I'm your boss, I'm this. I want everybody to kind of join the team and be like, hey, I have these ideas of growth as well. And I'm like, why not? That's what this is about. It's about us trying to not only better ourselves but provide good services, right? So, my first contract that I had was a real big deal, and it didn't go through. But oh well, I called Rich up. I was like, yo, bro, they tried to lowball me. It didn't go through. And my second two deals, they went through. So right now I'm kind of helping this house. She has two houses, and she needs a lot of residents. So we're doing direct placement. So basically just calling case managers, social services. Rich threw out a sick ass flyer. I was like, yo, bro, I kind of just sent him the what I needed, and he get the flyer. But also promoting his skills, right? Like I'm out there and I'm like, hey, we could also increase your reviews on Google. My business partner will come in with his drone. He'll do whatever he has to do. He'll narrate the whole thing. But just giving people their dues, right? And be like, hey, he's talented at this. He has an official title, and I told him, I was like, I don't want this company just to be this. Like I need more inputs. I want other things to do. I want to venture into a lot of different things, which I think is going to be important, right? To be able to have a lot of outlets, basically. Just but this is what JCS is the healthcare solution. Everything that has to do with healthcare, we will try to help to the best of our abilities. So yeah, very excited about it.
Way I explain it to people is like, you know how like when you have like an apartment complex, it's like a landlord, or when you have like you're paying for rent and you have like a property manager, for example, if you have like a rent for a household, well, they handle all like let's say like the landscaping, handling like supplying like having the house remodeled. There's so much little details and little knickknacks that the businesses can only focus on what they really want to do, which is care for people. So all the other stuff that they shouldn't be worried about, we take care of it so that they can focus on what they do, which is better service for their clients, their patients, et cetera, et cetera. So like the landlord has someone to basically fill in all those little roles. That's what we do. And people love that part. They love that they can save so much money at the same time get so much value. And even in a space where like people who own like properties are a lot of like older people, they don't know much about digital marketing. They don't know much about online presence, social media presence, what's going to be viral, what's going to be captivating. and just starting from, they don't have to learn any of that because they have people who can do that for them. So it's a lot of little knickknacks, and I'm excited of moving forward. And then there's a bunch of ventures aside from those that we already like working on. But I'm like, dude, I know you see the top of the mountain, but if we keep looking up there, we're gonna step and shit and slide back down. I need to focus on one step at a time, and we're building our foundation up the way to the mountain. That's how you have to work business. You know, what's your thoughts on that move?
I mean, I've heard your guys' game plan from the beginning. David talked to me about it too. He told me that he's wanting me to get activated into it as well, coming from the health perspective of it. Because I'm a type 2 diabetic. He told me that he wanted me to go ahead and help him out with food preparations, regimen, stuff like that. Um, to me, it sounds like a good idea because it is something that people do need help with, and it's something that service that people. I know from what David told me, a lot of people can do it, but a lot of people don't do it. They always work under somebody, and he's trying to be independent, which I understand because that's the goal. You know what I mean? Independence of our own, do our own thing. And I mean, the work schedule he said he was gonna do, and then the payout he said he was gonna do. I was like, man, that sounds like good. You know what I mean? To me, like to just hustle and struggle to work like that'd be easy because, like you said, you're gonna start from the bottom up. And I mean, you have to climb the bottom of the mountain to get to the top. You're right, but you got to look what's ahead of you too. So I mean, that makes sense to me. You know what I mean? And I mean, he tells me like what he does, and I'm like, dude, how do you find all these people? And he's like, I just gotta talk to people. Just be speaking to people, go to places, or people recommend people to me. And I'm like I know the health industry is a big industry as well. Um, there's always new students, there's always new employees, I guess you could say, and I mean that's a pretty much a fail-proof plan to me.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, someone did tell me before, just start an agency, just because I do know a lot of like CNAs, nurses, and all that. But I'm like, yo, starting an agency, it's not as hard as people think it is, but it's just getting them contracts. It's kind of what I'm doing now is you're gonna get like 50 no's before you get a yes, you know. And like right now, I got a pretty sweet deal. I got to find 14 residents for two houses. So I got to find 14 residents, two houses. It sounds simple enough, but I've talked to case managers after case managers, went to hospitals, went to like hospitals, clinics, fucking family houses. I've been pretty much everywhere, and like, oh, we don't have anyone now. Do they take insurance? That's another thing. Like when these houses don't have like insurance approval, they want to do private pay. That creates an issue for you, right? Because a lot of people do have insurance. My insurance covers 3,500. The family can pay like the extra 1,000 or whatever. It makes it work. But when like us, we don't put our families in a home, right? So we don't have to go through that. Like, we take care of ours. But a lot of people they have jobs, they can't afford to do that. So for a private room, like if it's just your mom, say your mom by herself, private room, it's about $6,000 a month, right? That's some change, and to pay that upfront cash, not everyone has a big family. We have 13, my mom and them have 13 brothers and sisters between all of them, right? I don't think all of them together would be able to be like, oh yeah, we'll pay $6,000 a month for my mom to live in a home, right? It's just not that logical, but some people do that. So for that saying, like, I'm gonna just tell you guys business wise, you could break it down different. Like say, I got moved. He's like, yo, I need somewhere. I send him to a home. He's like, I got the money for it. So they get 3 meals a day, snacks, whatever they need, the medicine, all they take care of you 24/7, right? You give them 6 months, 6,000 from there. Me as a person that places them there, I gotta go and do an evaluation. I gotta evaluate them, see if they're weight bearing, they could dress themselves, what level they are of care. Once that happens, then that's when I charge. And the way you charge is, if we were trying to go out there, you could either charge 100% of the first month, or you can charge, all the way down to don't ever below 75%, right? Don't do that. But the way you do it is that you can break it down into payments. The problem is, say I get 100% of it, I would charge you 100% of 6,000. I'm gonna break it down 25% every month. If that person dies in 2, 3 months, that's it. Yeah, that's all you're getting, right? So I drop mine down to 75% and do two payments. So it's 6,000. 75% of that is 4,500, give or take. I take my first payment like 1 month, and then the next payment the following month, right? And then that's it. So if you multiply, basically you multiply 4 grand by the 14 patients that I need, that's how much money you make, right? Which is, about 40, close to 40,000. So with that is that's when you start, okay, I gotta pay, I gotta pay Rich, I gotta pay this person, I gotta put away for taxes, gotta pay myself. So that's why like, yeah, 14 seems like it's good, which it is, but finding those 14 and find those 14 quick is where it becomes the struggle of like what I told Rich, I gotta get you out here, man, because you could be, talking over here, I can be looking over here, and from there also looking for people. I have another house that's looking for caregivers, finding the right caregivers, if they're certified, if they've been doing it, like all of it, pass a background check, if they have everything that they need, like having to figure that out for them, I charge them um, 15 to 20% of what they would make either annually or what they would make in their first 6 months. So that's kind of how we break it down. If you make $30,000 a year, you buy my person out for like 3 grand, basically. You buy her out, right? Or I can just be like, cool, here's the CNA. If you want to really get in and make it go with them, be like, just pay me, 300, $400 for this CNA. The next one will go at this price, right? So you got to always think that way, because if I'm not trying to do the right thing, somebody's going to come and be like, oh, well, if I charge 100, what gives Moo the right? And that's coming like, hey, I'll get you the same people for 75%. You know, then you can be like, all right, but no one's ever going to go below 75%. Because if you do, then you start losing. You'll lose money. You'll leave money on the table. So right now, this lady has 2 homes. My job is financially to get her stable. So I have to have conversations with this lady and be like, hey, maybe you get one of your homes and you combine it with the other home. That way now you only have one house with 6 residents right now that we could build on. You don't have the expenses of the other house. Let that shit go. Right. And that's a hard conversation to have with somebody. Be like, but now you're going to have 6 residents in one house giving you a positive income that you can catch back up. Right. Giving us more time to get you people. Now, once you get people, you start building a rapport. Now you don't have nowhere to put these people. Then you can invest on trying to get another home and create a cycle. Getting people to understand that is the hard part of telling them, like, you're not failing. You're just not. Why have 2 houses with 3 residents in each house? Paying all the bills on both houses when you can just have one, and put them all there, and now you're positive because you're charging 6 grand for 6 residents for one house. You can pay all your bills and your staff in that one house. So that's kind of the conversations that I have with people trying to financially make it make sense to them. And I tell Rich, I'm like, it's weird. Like you kind of have to be here to understand what I do. I'm like, because every time I try to explain it, they're like, what the fuck? But once you're doing it, you're like, oh shit, I get it. And that's kind of like I said, I've been doing it for 15 years and like my parents don't even know what the fuck I do. They're like, oh, just know it works. But it's really rewarding when you do it and people thank you or they praise you. Rich got a huge, that lady almost fucking cried. I told Rich as soon as she saw it, I told him, I was like, yo, this lady almost cried. She said it was such a beautiful flyer. And then she's all like, this is such a beautiful house. I'm like, I didn't say it to her, but in my head, I was like, bitch, that's your house. Like that is a picture of your house. And I called Rich right away just to give him his props, man. I was like, yo, do they really love your work? And hopefully he felt good about that.
Yeah.
Felt good about that. I didn't know that it was going to go to her because he just said flyers, and I was assuming you want flyers to give to people who maybe want to become to enter to like basically families or potential residents or patients to see if they want to be there. So I want to make it more inviting for them. Turns out he's saying it to the owners, to like case managers, to clinics, to like so much other stuff. And I was like, I would have made this so different if I would have known that information. So withholding information might not be a good idea, but we're working on communication with regarding this because, like I said, we tried to explain it, kind of like hard for him to explain it. But anyways, when I made the flyer, I should probably put the flyer right here. And then I was like, oh, dang. So when it came out, he told me the story, and I was like, dude, like, I think I made that in maybe like 15, 30 minutes. Maybe that. Maybe that. And he already had the words. I copied and pasted it, put a picture, looked at templates, and I was like, I want it like this, and, blah, 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 and I put it together, and it was done in like 15, 30 minutes. And then, well, 15 minutes. And then I sent it to him, and he was like, put in this picture, and then put in our logo. And I was like, okay, cool. Revision, send it right back out. It's already out. And it was like a 30-minute job. And I was like, dude, like, for not knowing what to like market for exactly, or basically not knowing exactly what it came out really, really cool. And I'm glad that it's heartwarming that to me, it may have been like 15 minutes or 30 minutes of creative work, and it is work. But what really is rewarding is how much it moved her, like how it represented so much for her. It's movement, it's progress going in the right direction so that she could market and also give it to the people, et cetera, et cetera. So I was like, wow, like that was cool. So I'm like, now I'm more excited to even go over there and start working even more.
No,
But yeah, one quick question. One quick question I have, speaking of the marketing stuff that we were talking about earlier, what's that behind you, Moo?
this is the banner you made for me, actually. Hold on,
And then that's for his Twitch. You can follow him on Twitch. Hulk
my
Moo.
bad.
I don't even know what we don't do, bro. My link tree has like streaming, social media, my YouTube, the vlogs, everything. I'm like, and our podcast. Like,
Yeah.
we do all kinds of stuff, dude.
Well, we have our hands in everything, a lot of things, music, different business ideas, stuff like that. Like I know that I'm still in the process of trying to get a cartoon off as well. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's crazy the way that we think and we try to, we're not scared to try stuff. You know what I mean? And that's pretty crazy because like a lot of people are scared of failure, and we're not as scared to fail. We're just scared not to try it. That's kind of weird. That's a very it's a trait not a lot of people have. You know what I mean? To jump into something and not knowing head first what's going to happen, and it succeeds, it doesn't, whatever happens. Either way, you have the memories, and that's even awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty cool. And I mean, my brother knows I've had his back. Since day one, whatever it is. You know what I mean? I've invested in some of his shit, and he's done the same for me. So I mean, it's not like we're scared to fail or nothing. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty cool. You know, that's a pretty good thing to do. Hold on, let me turn this air off real quick. But like I said, dude, like it's cool. You guys are trying thinking about starting a business. I mean, I know I'm excited to be part of it as well. I know the end goal is for all of us to move to Phoenix and to be able to work less. You know what I mean? And like I said, you gave a good schedule, you gave good payment options, and I'm ready. You know what I mean? Like let's go. You know?
Yeah, yeah, definitely a lot of planning. Like I said, it's from scratch, but
And like you said, like we've done other ventures like that, but starting from the ground floor, was it like dirt off my back? Like it's nothing, you know? Starting from the ground floor is like what we're used to because we just turned the term is turn shit into sugar, but turn crap into sugar basically. Like turn
Yeah.
crap into sugar because like we don't basically build up where we're at right now and then grow to everything else, you know? But the cool thing about it is you have the experience of like where you know where it can go, so you know where to guide to. It's just pushing in that work. So starting with a little bit of hard work, like that's nothing. That's nothing. But how do you feel about it?
I feel good. Like I said, it was a bit scary at first. You know, obviously I'm still contracted with my current company, and that's kind of like the hardest part is I'm still contracted with them and trying to break that contract right now is taking a lot of my time. So like when I go meet clients and I go meet people, like technically I'm still contracted, right? So it's something that if I don't follow certain guidelines or whatever, that could come back on me. You know, that could come back on me and hurt me. Not only financially but even legally. So that's the bad part about the contracting too. And that's why for me, I was like, I'm gonna go off on my own. I want to have a bunch of entrepreneurs on my team, but I don't want to put them in bullshit as contracts. Like that's something that I don't want to do. I don't want to do, yeah, you can be an entrepreneur, you can do this, and you're your own boss. Yeah, you gotta tally up to daddy at the end. Like that, I don't want that. Like I need people that have vision and goals to do something also that's just we all just support each other. And I was telling your brother the other day, which I mentioned to you too. I was like, yo, I'm like, if I find someone that just wants like digital marketing or a commercial or whatever the thing, I'd be like, yeah, I got somebody charges 5 grand, and I'm like, that's the price. And then I told you, I was like, yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna take my G off of that and you can keep the four. It's your work. It's just me getting the word out there. Like, I don't want to always be the one with these ideas. And I think that's why me and Rich, I can work with him because we always have these ideas and we're just like one step at a time, but that'll be cool. And we come up with shit quick, and we do have other little side things that can help us get to our big goals, because these contracts are big contracts, right? But we need the little ones to kind of keep us going if we don't want to go to a 9 to 5. So that's why I kind of like our mentality. And I think that comes from our parents. My mom's a hustler. She's been hustling her whole life, selling clothes, tortillas, whatever she had to do to get by and make a great living doing it. So that's already in us, I think, like that hustler mentality, no matter what it is. You could, be a drug dealer in our family. You still have that hustler mentality of how to do business, or you can legitimately have a business. My Theo Sergio has his coffee thing going. Now I think they're doing food trucks. There's enough food for everyone, right? There's enough in this world for everybody, and that's one of the biggest things. Like I want, like Moose doing his commercial, like his cartoons. Like, yeah, you work under this umbrella, but chase your dreams too. Like we'll invest in trying to get your cartoon off the ground. That's your project. Whatever you want to give us for your project, that's on you. But that's kind of like what I want to lead this to be. So it's not only going to be like JCS, solutions. It's going to branch off to other pieces. No matter what it is, like I have my brother too. If my brother ever wants to venture off in something, our job is to try to support that, right? To support it and be like, cool, like we'll get this off the ground. Let's try our hardest to get things off the ground for each other, but where it's not a contract like, yeah, like I get a percentage or I get this. That doesn't work. I've been doing that and I'm to that point where like I'm trying to break a contract now. But the hardest part is when you're good at your job, they're not gonna let you break that contract. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, it sucks. I have another 7 months. So for me, it's like 7 months because the year just started. It's like 7 months. I don't know where I can't leave my business on the side for 7 months. Who knows where it'll be by then? So getting these little side jobs, we're like, oh, they don't need this, but they need this, and you guys don't deal with that. So I do. So it's kind of like selective, where I can't totally branch off because having a registry, my company now that I'm contracted with, they make 400 and something $1,000 a month registry, almost half a mil. You know, I get maybe 2% of that, and I'm out here recruiting and doing this and getting the contract. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, like I want to be able to be like, yo, I made this much. My boy getting 10, he's getting 15%, he's getting 20% because this is what you brought to the table, is what you're bringing to the team, right? And eventually that's kind of where the end all will be, is having a registry. Like I said, having a registry is not hard because I definitely know where to find the people. It's having those contracts, and the good thing is I know how much they charge at the peak and I know how much I can charge to make a profit. And if I make $100 per person and I have 100 people working for me, that's an hour. If I make $100 an hour per person, in a 12-hour shift, like do the math, But I also know how to treat people. Like I've been in management for a very long time, over 20 years. So I know how to treat people, if their anniversary. I like to know that. I'm the type of boss that likes to know that. Like I like to know when your anniversary is, if you have a wife or, fiance, whatever it may be, when your birthday is. You should be able to come and tell me like, yo, man, it's not my week today. I'm burnt out. Be like, cool, have a couple of days off. Like get your head straight. Because you're more valuable to me when you're on 100% than when you're like, I don't want to do this today. And I always thought about it like we have to go to work Monday through Friday. Some of us work weekends, but sometimes you're like, I don't really want to go, and you go to work and you're not giving it 100% because you don't want to be there. Like now, like I want you to want to be here, and I want you to be like, hey, like I've been a nurse here for 3 years. Do you think you give me a raise? Yeah, it shouldn't have even been a topic. You should have been having a raise, right? Like those are the kind of things that I want make sure that the business stands for. It's like, okay, this person's been here for a year and a half. Why haven't we given her a raise? Why haven't we brought her in? Why haven't we done these things? Like it goes beyond that. Like, oh my God, it's her anniversary. Yo, Rich, go get some cards. We can send them out to a dinner for her and her dude. They can go have a dinner or whatever it may be. If she has kids, they go to a movie night. That's what keeps people around, right? Little things like that. And I really want to make sure that I'm doing that. And I want to make sure that we're doing that collectively. Rich, you venture off to doing something and we support that. And you're like, I'm running this show. This is my spot that I'm running. For you to have that same mentality of like, yo, like these people need to be appreciated for what we're doing. No, same thing. Like we need to always establish that of like, hey, we're working together for a common goal, and we're not here to like rip people off, and that's one of the things like I'm not here to rip nobody off. It's not a good taste in my mouth, So a lot of big things coming, man. I feel excited about it, just trying to get out of this contract now. And it's gonna cost me a lot, but from what they're saying, it's gonna cost me a lot. But I don't know what to do. I don't know. I'm just gonna wait, 3 months and then try to do it again, get out of the contract. But I've texted her literally. I've texted maybe like 30 times, like, "Hey, what if we do this or what if I do that?" And sometimes I don't even get a reply. They're just like, "I ain't talking about that. Go do your job, motherfucker." But that's the reality of life, right? When you work under somebody that sees your value and try to hold you until they squeeze every dime out of you. I'm not saying that everybody's like that because I've had a lot of bosses like that and I've had really good ones. One of the bosses I had prior to this lady, amazing guy, always straight up with me, always told me my direction, always told me fair what was going to happen before it happened. And he's one of the ones that gave me an amazing letter recommendation. He's like, you deserve to go on your own, man. You got this. I'll give you a letter recommendation, and I wish you the best of luck. Of course, if I ever hear somebody need his help, I'm going to direct them to him, right? I had a contract with him. He ended my contract 3 months early. No penalty, no nothing. He just said, all right, cool. Go chase your dreams. I showed him my business card. So I market for about 7, 8 different companies, but they've all been pretty good except for this one. And I'm not gonna say her name, because that's pretty shitty. But she's the only one that doesn't want to cut me loose. Everybody else is like, yeah, as soon as you establish, let me know. No harm, no foul. Thank you for everything you've done for us. And chase your goals, chase your dreams, which is amazing. But out of the 7 people to have just one that's being a little difficult, I think that's a win. But I also feel proud that she doesn't want to let me go with my contract because I'm like, yeah, like that's value, right? But yeah, man. But I have to answer your question. Yeah, dude, I'm super excited to venture off on my own and do this and to have like family like with me is dope, right? Because you know, like I know you won't ever like fucking cheat me out of something, and neither would Moo, neither would my brother. And I told you that from the get go. Like I want to keep it as small as possible. We have a lot of family. I can go to like Anna, D, Harvey, anyone, Martin. But I'm like, no, like I told you before, Rich, like business wise, like I sat down, put everything in perspective, right? And reasons why I would do things and wouldn't do things. But like I said, I'm excited, man, and I'm excited to do a lot of little projects too that are gonna get us good money too. It's just little projects that are fun, bro. Like it's not all medical field, right? So like I'm excited like to do those little things. I don't know if you want to share about them, but I mean I'm excited about that shit too.
No, I think my
Okay.
question for you
Oh, right.
would be, I'm sorry. I mean, I thought he was done. I'm sorry. Because you said I always cut you off. That was good. But a question came into me. You're self-taught, right? You didn't go to school or nothing. Like you just went straight into that field and kind of just discovered it on your own, right?
No, so my background was culinary and it was physical therapy. So I went to school for that. I graduated college for physical therapy. But I ended up getting hurt. I used to catch shoplifters, and the dude moved his head. I punched the concrete, messed up my hand. Um, didn't feel it until I was doing the police report. I couldn't write. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, and but I used to love catching shoplifters. That was my favorite job. Kmart, too bad a shout out. Shout out to Kmart, even though it closed down. It was a really good job for me. I used to love it. But yeah, so when I got hurt, I ended up going to a physical therapy clinic. And when I got into it, the guy's all like, "You know all the exercises?" I'm like, "Dude, I know all the medical terminology." I'm like, "I have my degree." And he's all like, "What are you doing at your job?" I'm like, "Everyone wants experience." I'm like, "Everybody wants people with a year, 2 year, 3 years experience." He's like, "You want to work here?" I was like, "Sure." He's like, "We'll get you better and you can work here." And I was like, "Tight." So from there, I ended up meeting a guy from a hospital. He was actually the director for Boswell, and he was there for his knee. So I was doing his exercises with him, and he's all like, "Oh, my name is Jose. I'm the director at Boswell for the therapy department." He's all like, "Do you speak Spanish?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." And we just started talking. And when he got better, he left me a card. And he's all like, and he's the first person, because I always say this, there's nothing wrong with a conversation. I learned that from him. He gave me a card. He said, "There's nothing wrong with a conversation." So I went to go see him, and that's how I linked up with the hospitals. Now, when I got into the hospital, that's when I started learning more about this field, about like what a CNA does, LPNs, RNs, NPs. It intrigued me about the business side of it. So I started talking to business office managers, social workers, started talking to people like that, and ended up meeting people that, "Oh man, it's so hard to find so and so." "I got you. Let me run your Indeed ad real quick." And I did it because I was tired of, wiping ass. So I was like, because when you're in the hospital, you're doing therapy, if the colostomy bag rips, that's on you. You gotta like clean it up, and that was horrible. Um, so I kind of just learned and be like, "Hey, let me run your Indeed ad. It'll take some time off of you." And next thing you know, it's like, "Hey, my recruiter's out. You want to fill in?" And that's kind of how I got into the depth of what I do. But I did have prior experience with some medical being in physical therapy. But it was very lucky, right? And I've never turned down opportunity to continue to grow. But now as like a marketer, there's so many angles you can take. The bad part is there's so many people that can take advantage of the marketer, it takes years to learn that, to learn like, okay, he has the best interest for me, not for the company, and vice versa. But yeah, that's kind of how I got in, man. Just opportunities when people are like, "Hey, you want to," not being afraid, like you said it earlier, we're not afraid to take a chance, so that's what I did. Every time they were like, "Hey, you want to try this?" Sure, why not? I fail, you put me in this situation, I'm gonna go back to do what I do, right? Um, so yeah, that's kind of how I got into it, man. That's how I got into this, and very blessed. It's made me a lot better as a person, I think, as well. It's helped me realize what's important, and growth, and being sympathetic, and being able to relate to somebody, able to, because some of these cases that I get, I do feel bad. I'm like, "Oh my God, like there's nothing I can do for you," and sometimes telling somebody there's nothing I can do for you hurts a lot, man, because there's just families that will sit there and beg you, get on their knees, like, and you're like, "Dude, there's nothing we can do for you," and that happened to me at the hospital, man. A lot of people didn't have insurance. They got turned away after a few days. They get sent home, on air vents or whatever. It's sad, bro. And you're just like, and they're like, "Why? Like, he's gonna die," and you don't like hearing that shit. Like, as far as me, like, I don't like hearing that. Like when they're begging you and they're crying, that's their loved ones, right? And it's kind of what helped me, I guess, grow a heart or have a heart, was being in that industry, man. Because I'm like, man, these people. Because a lot of like growing up, I was very to myself, just cared about me. Like, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go play basketball. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go do this. Yeah, I'm gonna date that girl." No, like it was all just like whatever. I really didn't have that compassion. And getting in this field, and it kind of gave me that, like, "Oh man, like why do I feel this way?" Kind of like the Grinch when he grows a heart. Felt like that, bro. Like I'm like, why do I feel this way? Like, why is this person so sad? Like, and talked to my mom for a while, so I was like, "I don't care." And but to really hear these people like pour their souls in their heart and they're just crying, I'm like, I'm gonna do whatever I can to help these fucking people. Insurance, they pay me, they don't pay me. I'm gonna try till I can't try no more. And that helped me a lot with my personal growth. And so I owe a lot to this industry and to this field. But my passion's always been cooking, man. Like getting down, cooking, having a barbecue, having a good time. And that's why I bring that aspect of it to my job. I have cookouts for the staff, and because it's always been a part of me. I think food is a great way to get to learn about each other, and just like, oh, because it guards you down, like on my interviews, I might bring in some pizza. We're gonna eat pizza and I'm gonna interview you, and people are like, "What the hell?" Like, I'm like, "Oh, so, like I asked all the questions, like obviously, like, why do you like doing this?" And I go through the process of their interview, but at the same time, like a lot of people are like, "Dude, this is the most comfortable I've ever felt." Who? Because when there's an issue, you don't have to talk to me. "Oh, I show up every day and I don't call off." The first time you call off, I'm like, "I thought you said you didn't call off." And you'd be, well, I'm like, "I'm just kidding," But I think that like getting into that field, man, it was a huge change of luck. If not, I'll still be catching shoplifters, man, enjoying it. But yeah, but I did have some education.
No, but like I was saying, like I went to school for business. Obviously, I didn't go into that field because you're right. They do want experience. And I remember you were discussing that, like, like you said, you were physical therapy, you did other stuff, whatever, but it was never to be into business or management position. It was nothing like that. And that's crazy because, like you said, a conversation isn't bad. And I take that differently from you because when I started my podcast, I was like, dude, I talk to so many people and I know so many people. Like, I should just do a podcast. And I remember discussing it with my brother. My brother was like, well, just do it. And I was like, you're right. Let's just do it and see what happens. And we had different iterations. Obviously we had AI radio. We had How High Were You? We had the third one I forget. There's a couple we had. And I just found them. And I was listening to our first podcast and I was like, dude, this shit is crazy that we started from the bottom, not knowing what the hell to talk about. Or we had topics, but they sounded weird to like we realized it's just better to talk to people comfortably and get them in a comfortable state because then they'll tell you more. And like I always tell people, like I'm not Oprah Winfrey. I'm not gonna ask about your personal life, like what was your worst moment, whatever, blah blah blah. And people will discuss their life about you because they want people to know about them, like because you have to know where someone came from where you're getting to. And that's why I was telling people, like I'm not trying to say you're dumb or nothing. You have no prior education. I just say like that's not what you went to school for. That's what I meant.
No, I did it. No, it definitely is not what I went to school for, but definitely blessed that I did get that knowledge from people and they were able to share that. And shit, fucking mosquito. And now I get to, do that with everyone else. But the end all for me is I think for Rich too is just be like, yo, we can go to SD for a couple weeks, y'all. Mend the ship or we gone. Like my end all is just to be able to be like I already know because I know our family. Like I already know and be like, what the fuck? Like when did this happen? And it's kind of like, well, it happened with I think a bunch of misfits that just do whatever they want to make them happy at the end of the day. And I think that that's kind of what binds a lot of it is the fact that we're gonna do what makes us happy, what makes sense. And like I said, I like with the cartoon that you're doing. I was like, hell yeah, like that's dope. And I started drawing again, and I'm like, then I got busy. I was like, fuck. But I was proud of what I was trying to do, right? Like all the characters and trying to develop all that stuff. And that for me is fun because I get to like creatively try to express myself through what you were trying to look for, and now like that's why I said like I want to be able to get out of this contract because now I'm doing double the work. Like I'm doing work for me and then work for her and to like still come home and try to unwind and then try to create like characters and do that. I'm like, nah. I'm like, I gotta get out of this fucking contract. And but like I said, dude, my end all is to put everybody that we believe we could bring in to be to the point where they're like, yeah, I've always wanted to do this. Well, do it. We got your back. And it's your shot. You call it. You do what you want to do. We're just here to support you. And like I mentioned to Rich that, like, we're gonna sit down and talk about who we're gonna bring in. And I'm like, and that's all Rich. I'm like, dude, I'm like, you have a lot of the same entrepreneur mentality. And I'm like, I think that like if I'm not here, I can be like, yo, Rich, this is the game plan. Get people to get the game plan going, right? And and he was like, yeah, bro, for sure. Like I want to learn whatever I want to learn, which was cool, because I was like, cool, like Rich can take the mantle. I'm like, yo, I can't be there this week. I know that it'll be taken care of, right? Um, so I was like, yo, I want you to help me make decisions, and we have a meeting. I think it's next weekend, Rich.
Gotta be up there on the 8th. Yeah, we're having that meeting.
He even gets me some more peoples. So be really
Working,
good.
groundwork stuff, foundation for me, just the usual. Just another Tuesday.
Well, that's the thing that was cool about my brother that he took initiative to learn how to record music. He took the initiative to learn how to do editing video. He took the initiative to create content. He took the initiative to open up a TikTok shop. He took like you know what I mean? Like he just okay, if I don't do it myself, it's not going to be done. And I'm trying to learn from that mentality as well because like I'm working on those cartoon scripts. I'm trying to get them all good to go and like there's actual content or like but still let people still be like free with it. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy because um the creative mindset that we have is is vast. And I know you've done rap, you've done basketball, you've done a lot of creative stuff, and I think that's what helps drive you because you're not scared to try something, and that's cool, man. Both of you guys, go like I said, head first into the water.
Yeah, yeah. It's a long
The
time
only
ago.
thing that I have, like I've mentioned to David, was my concerns, which I'm not scared to go out there and do it. That's like I'm the explorer type. I'll go and venture and find out and figure it out as I get there. It's just figuring out where I'm going to stay and how do I get to where we need to get to. So we're working on those problems as well as one thing that's not really like a holdback, but at the same time it kind of pulls at my heartstrings is who's going to take care of our mom. Because up until now I've been remote and I've been basically here the whole entire time to check in on her, make sure she's fine, she's never alone. Um, and gets whatever what she wants to get done. So like going into a caregiving role when I'm caregiving my mom, who's gonna take care of her, you know? So like that's gonna be what I'm trying to figure out. But like I said, we are moving in the right directions, and slow progress is better than no progress. And if we
Mhm.
have to baby step our way there, I mean that's absolutely fine. But those are the only hurdles that I'm dealing with up until now. But I'm sure we'll get over those. Like we don't know what we don't know, you know? You don't know what we don't know. Some opportunity might show up and we might close a contract. We might go to this meeting on the 8th and we might close a contract off of these meetings. And if that's the case, then I'm gone, we'll figure out the rest from there. And that's
Yeah.
the only thing that's my concern has been up until now.
But shout out to your mama, man. She's special, bro. I think your mom's real special. You know, I still hear her. She was telling me Marcia the other day, "Why haven't you eaten?" He's like, "I'm not hungry. I already ate." Are you sure? Like, just and I told her like, I said, "What your mom used to do?" She worked at the child daycare, or
Yeah.
You're the child
and
caregiver, yeah.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
thank
yeah.
Uh, I mean, it's insanity to hear my mom tell stories of her past, and then like I was fortunate enough to hear from our other tias and tios, from your mom, um, talk about how they grew up, and it is totally insanity to me because 13 kids, like you said earlier, 13 kids, they all have their own. Well, it was supposed to be 15, but two died at birth. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy. A big family. Like you said, we have a lot of cousins, and to think. But I mean, my mom is definitely a mom. She is definitely that mom. We're mama's boys, and we want nothing to happen to our mom. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Like I said, it's crazy to think about what she's done and where she's at. Like I think you said, man, she came from making food, tortillas, tamales, working in hotels, cleaning them, um, various jobs until she's landed taking care of kids, and that's what she did for a long time until she retired. And it's insane to think about. That's how she put food on the table. There's been times where she's told me herself. Sometimes I had to pay the house or the phone or the light bill, or we had to have food. Like like we've gone starving. Sometimes we've had no light. I mean, we suffered not as much as they did because they came from the dirt, literally the dirt. And all our tios and tias have that hustle mentality because if you don't hustle, you don't eat.
Exactly. I'm
It's
trying
crazy
to
because
eat.
they're crazy because like it's like at that point it's like you have to work because it's survival. Like if you don't work, you don't make money, you don't eat, you don't. It's just that and it gets instilled in you, and you get to that point where like survival is your only way of getting it. So by any means, hustle, working, whatever the path is what you go down in order to make sure you eat, the family eats, to take care of everyone. But the good thing is like rice and beans or lobster and steak, the way we just get together and we support each other and we bond, like there's so many families that I've seen and met with that they don't have that. They're on their own. Like literally, they're like black sheep from their family. They're just like on their own, outcasts and stuff like that. So I really am grateful for what we have, and I wish that everyone that in our family who that makes sense to and who sees it, and even other people's family, like they are grateful that they realize that because a lot of people don't have that, and that's really really a gift. But one thing I wanted to go into is for our the podcast you had for us when you podcast us on your miscellaneous podcast. What was your biggest takeaway for Shamu and me?
Just how different both of you guys' backgrounds are, man. Like, just like how you're always, I think you're more of always like that. Like, I'm gonna worry about how I'm feeling, how Rich is doing, right? Like internally, like you said, you practice like Buddhism, and you're more of like getting your chakra right, your inner energy right. I think that you're just that person that you're just like, like me. If the vibe doesn't feel good, I'm just gonna kind of like, move away from that vibe, and but I also love to create a vibe. I just think that energy kind of sinks, and then to have someone like Moo, like I said, I never knew that, Moo used to sell drugs and do this and that, like, so it's kind of like, you start learning those things, right? And like I said, everyone has their past. Everyone has what they've done. But I think for me, it's like I think that as long as like you are that person that you're like, okay, cool, like fuck it, let's do it. You know, he's more the person of tell me, and I'll fucking run through the wall and do it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no like you guys are totally different, even though it's a common goal. Like podcast, right? You're gonna edit it, you're gonna do all this and that. But he's like, yo, I want to do this. Cool, then do this. And he'll just go out and do it. Like one track mind, nothing's going to stop him. He's going to just complete his goal. So for me, I think that, and then like strategically, you guys are totally different, but it's different ways to get to the same goal. Right. And like, I don't know if there's ever been a time where you guys didn't like each other, stand each other, or whatever, but it's like now I feel like you guys have each other's back 100%. And that's a beautiful thing. Right. Like, obviously, I didn't have that with Juan, like we're 6 years apart. and there's a huge gap there, but at the same time, like I had that with Judy. Me and Judy were a year and a half, 2 years apart, right? And so we were in a lot of the struggles and battles with each other, and like I said, I got my sister's back, more than anyone else's back. Like she'll call me, I'll drop everything in a fucking dime, and that's kind of just because she's been through a lot with me. Like we developed that real close connection, and like I'm trying to develop that connection, with Juan and with even with my mom. I'm trying to develop that connection of like, yo, like I'll be here, like let's try and see what we can do. But it's kind of difficult when you don't see you don't see progress, man. Like I went to visit my mom, everything's fine. 2 days later, she's cussing everyone out. She's mad at the world. Man, there's no progress. Like there's no change. Like no matter how much you say you're gonna change, there's no change. And I'm not little no more, right? I'm not gonna allow you to talk bad about my sister, my brother, whoever. Like you have no right. You can't control their lives. And I kind of feel like that's more of my responsibility now is to stand up for them because they do have a relationship with my mom. Juan's there every weekend basically. So my mom could yell at him, cuss at him, and Juan's right there the next week. The moment that she does that to me, she ain't gonna see me for some time, right? Like I don't have an issue pulling back. But I think that you guys do have that connection, man. Like you guys do ride or die for each other, which is kind of amazing to have, man. And because you have other brothers and sisters, right? You have, what is it, 6 of you total?
Yeah,
All boys except for Yvonne.
yeah.
You know,
Um, I mean, it's surprising to me because it's it isn't it's the age gap that kind of gets you. And me and him have a 3-year age gap. I'm sorry. And I mean, he probably didn't dislike me because I was, like I was on drugs. I was a drug addict and all this and stuff, and I was doing crazy shit. And um, and it trips me out because yeah, dude, like he has my back, and like he said, he's like, hey, dude, I'm gonna invest in this company, and no one's believes in me, and I was like, here, dude, like my last $50, fuck it, dude, I believe in you, go for it. You know what I mean? Like, here you go, you know what I mean? And like I've always had his back, even when we were little. I've never disliked my brother, you know what I mean? Like I always said, like he's my day one, he's my like my homie and shit, and we've talked. I mean, I know we don't agree on a lot of shit, but it's right. I've always told him like, dude, you're the idea, man. I'm the workhorse. Like I'm the guy who's gonna do the heavy lifting. Like you set it up, let me run it. Let's go. You know what I mean? He's always like, well, shit, I don't know, you know what I mean? Or yeah, fuck it, let's just do it. I'm like, cool, dude, you know what I mean? And I mean, I'll even confess, bro. He does most of the editing of the videos, bro. I'm the guy who's just like I said. I'm the workhorse. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be in this interview. I'm gonna ask you the questions. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna get the people. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because it works. It's worked for us. It's a give and take kind of relationship we have, and it works. So yeah, like I was saying, me and my brother, we've had a close relationship our whole lives. Like I said, I don't know if he's ever disliked me. He's never told me, Emily, but I said I've also was, doing my own thing, like you said. I was discovering the world my own way, and yeah. I mean, other than that, it's been a crazy ride, and I know that me and you have our first experience. Actually, my first experience with you was probably getting really, really high. I don't know, like so. I mean, I've told that story before, and I know I told like I always say like, man, it was you and Martin that always got me there. You know what I mean? But it was hilarious. But I mean, other than that, dude, it's insane to think about the family dynamic we do have. I mean, I think the cousins, us ourselves, we've taken ourselves to kind of talk to ourselves and know each other better. And I've discovered things about our cousins that we've never known, but that's because we don't hang out like that. Well, I mean, we're all different age groups.
yeah, yeah, definitely all different age groups. The one I was probably closest with was Martin, and I think I've seen him maybe like 3 times in like the last 5 years, maybe 6. But yeah, man.
I'm so tempted to go grab that sweater and put it on right now.
Oh, shout out, man.
What's that photo back there? What is that, bro?
That's your guys'
That's
performance, man.
the open mic right there.
Who is that?
That's my little brother Ricky Rex
Hey,
performing
Ricky Rack, he knows it.
per- performing the songs, bro. Funny
That,
part is they only let you do one song, right?
that
Yeah.
was that was crazy because we saw so many open mics the same weekend, and we were gonna go to the one that was downtown originally, but this one ended up being closer, and it started no, not closer, but it started earlier. And Juan is like an early bird, so he falls asleep pretty early. So he's like, the sooner the better. So by the time we got there, even though it was the earliest show, he was already nodding off and dozing off. So we went to that one, but he usually goes to the one downtown, and the one downtown gives you like a 12-minute set and go nuts, go crazy, right? Rap music, bands, whatever. So it was like we were expecting that, so we prepared for that. When we got there, we were noticing everyone did one song, but I was thinking maybe they're not that creative, maybe they're just starting, they don't have as much material as we do. I don't know. But when we went there, we did our first song, and then we started with the R&B song. I even told them the thing that, and when we finished the song, right, they were all like, you can only do one song. The video's over. Never mind. I'm not gonna do the video. I mean, I should. But I was like, the video's right over here. I'll just play. But I would we just the ladies are like because like you guys we're only doing one song each, and I was like, what? We prepared a whole 12-minute set with scripts and everything. And the one thing that one of the things that let me down or I was sad about is we made a song specifically for this event. And like I was telling him, uh, I was telling like when he was doing the downtown event, there was like rock, there was rap, there was singers, there was like poetry, there was like whatever, DJs or whatever. And I was like, bro, if we could mix all these together, we would stand out. So we made a rock, pop, rap song. And I was like, dude, no matter who's in the crowd, they're gonna mess with that song. Like for real, like it's so catchy. And plus the way I mean music is really catchy, the catchy hooks and everything. It gets stuck in your head like a mantra. Anyways, so we didn't get to that song, bro. We didn't get to that song. And that was so heartbreaking. But overall, the vlog, I made a vlog for it too. Links right here. I'll explain. But that's what we're like that's what I was like, uh it was just fun the whole entire time. And it's actually the first time ever doing a performance live, aside from like in our family. So that was cool to pop that cherry. You guys watch the video? What you guys like? What you guys hate? Tell me, be honest.
Nah, bro, I enjoyed it. Like I said, that's why I have it up, bro. I enjoyed it, and I still have the video. When Juan sent it over to me, I was like, dope, and I was like, it was funny because when you're like, oh, just one song, but people were into it, man. I know there was a lady, she was rocking out, so it was pretty cool. She was jamming out.
Olivia, what's up? I see you. Did they cut your hair?
I'm having ADHD.
What'd you say?
I have ADHD. No, but that yeah, like I said, that was a good show. Um, it's crazy that it was Juan's first show, you know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure he was nervous and like scared, I guess, whatever. But I mean, we definitely could have talked to him about that and see how that goes. But yeah, you actually have the video up on YouTube of your performance.
Yeah, it was a little heartbreaking, but overall it was great. I mean, it was a great start, and then it was funny because people that we work with up there, they were like, "Hey, when are you guys doing the next one? I'm ready for to get up on the third." Like we basically had people like need to motivate to like want to do it themselves. And I was like, "Dude, next time I'm up there, bro, and you want to do a show, like let's freaking do it, bro." Like we both had songs for days, and then like Geo, like the one you are working on with your dark wave. Yeah, so like everyone they're like, yeah, dude, like we want to go again. We gonna do it again next month. I was like, bro, like I can't be coming here back to back to back to back to back like that. Like, we need to like plan it out and I'll go up there and figure out. But the thing that's cool is I'm able to work remotely, so like I can basically work from wherever there's Wi-Fi. So that's a benefit that I like a lot. So that's how we did the show. But why did you put that photo up, bro?
I just wanted to, no particular reason. Just wanted to put it up, let you know that I have it. Support.
Hey.
I mean, performing with Richie's been crazy. Haven't been able to perform with your brother yet. Oh yeah, we did for Judy's wedding, but that was crazy. And then I mean, I know that we want to do more performances and stuff like that, and hopefully now we have the time so we can start doing it.
The fun thing about I still don't have the video of it. I'm sure she has. Oh, I think it's on Facebook. Of us doing the performance, like even thinking about bringing the pops, like the little guns that you like twist. Not a gun, but like a little like what is it? Like a freaking rod,
A Petty cannon?
a confetti cannon. Yeah, and you twist it and it pops up. Like that was so dope. Like it was fun to do that. The only thing I wish they had is they would have brought the people to the dance floor. But aside from that, I remember like listening to the people on our right, and they were like they were so hyped to like when we were making music. They loved it. I thought that was so much fun.
Yo, that day at my sister's wedding, it
Oh,
was
you were there
cool
too.
because
Yeah,
I
you
was
were
the
there
one
too.
in the mic.
Well, my bad. I forgot.
So yeah, I was gonna say I was the one like introducing everyone. I was so fucking sick. I had gotten sick like the day before. I lost my voice. So I was like, damn, I'm not gonna let my sister down, right? So I was like I was popping halls left and right. Fucking had like half a bottle of Patron, just trying to get like my throat to like not be sore. And midway, like I was asking people like when I was introducing them, like to come out one by one for her wedding, like all her bridesmaids and groomsmen or whatever. I was asking them before they came out, what's your name again? I was like, wait, your family, I know your name. Like, that was so fucked up. But yeah, I was on the mic and it was cool because I was like, I was just kind of like introducing people and I was like, and I told April, I was like, I remember shit. I'm like, I was so trashed. But it wasn't because I wanted to get trash, it was because I was legitimately like so sick. So I literally went through like 4 packs of halls. I was drinking, like just trying to get like my throat to clear up. But I lost my completely. I was like fucking sick. And it was kind of cool. I was like, fuck it, by any means necessary. But yeah, I remember I was like, damn. But I remember you guys' performance. Um, but you guys all wear like pink, right? I think you guys are all wearing pink.
I think that was the theme for the party, right? I think it was like the party theme was like pink. Remember, even the tables were like white and pink and like pearls and stuff like that. So I think that we were just in whatever. But like I remember telling them like we all need to wear pink, that's the color, and then we had like the ideas of how we were gonna dress basically. But yeah, that's what the colors we're wearing. And I think we literally rehearsed right outside of the event, like the hour before we had to go on.
Yeah, that's exactly true. I mean, we were outside, we were talking, discussing what we were gonna do. I remember I practiced my verse for like forever, and then to get on the spot and then freestyle it, and no one knew the difference, and everybody still vibed with it. That was hilarious, and everybody was like, "Dude, that was." I just remember like maybe the first three lines, and then all of a sudden I freestyled the rest, but I ended it perfectly. And there's been a couple times where I've done that, and people don't know the wiser because they don't know the songs like that. So it was pretty much fun because I remember we were just like discussing like what do you want to do, and then you had like some dance moves and you showed us really quick, and then when we did it, I think I was dancing the wrong way or there was something like that. I don't remember, but either way, it came out so good and everybody was so proud of us. That was amazing.
I didn't get any of the feedback of after we jumped on because I had to go get the mute. I gave the guy the thumb drive or my phone or whatever, and then I had to do like talk to the person who was like cleaning everything because I was like, I don't know if you guys know, but if you whatever, but end up cleaning everything. So we made the confetti grenades or cannon you said, and I just sat down, so I don't remember what anybody said.
I
No, it was
remember.
cool, man. It was good reviews. I mean, from what I remember, that's all I was trash.
He was all
But like,
trash. Yeah,
I
your
do
memory is
remember
no
that.
good. Your recollection is no good. Here you were trashed. I was like,
I remember you
we
guys
had
did
to ask
perform
drunk
though.
David. Um,
Yeah, no, I remember you guys performed, and I was just like, damn. I'm like, one, that takes a lot of courage to do, and two, I think my sister enjoyed it. She was like, oh, it's cool, because it's something I don't think anybody was expecting, like a fucking straight up R&B video. Nah, but it was pretty cool to be like, all right, cool, like they doing this, and that was a long time ago, so that was cool.
I remember because I ended up like even when we went to like this is the way I just roll because this is what I do. But I remember like even when you guys went to the snow thing, the snow adventure we guys went to go see the snow with your guys' family, and you guys were talking about on the party channel on Xbox, and this is how I invite myself. I was like, where are we going? When are we gonna be there? We're not gonna be there. Come on, I stay at your house. Just stop making it on the spot. And then but anyways, I bring that up because Judy wanted to do performances, like even her daughters did like dances, and Becky and Amina, and like little and the groomsmen and whatever, and the bridesmaids. And I remember Juan was like trying to show Duty songs, and Duty was like, "I want to vibe that's like a party vibe." And he was like, "So what kind of music do you want?" Like he wasn't connecting it, and I was like, "Dude, she wants songs like this, whatever." And then one song that I showed him was the blah blah blah, which is the song we have that blah blah blah, which is one of the things we did was simply just mouth. When I hear you talking trash, all I hear is blah 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 blah. Anyways, and he was like, "Oh yeah," he's like, and then she was like, "Yeah yeah, like that sounds good right there." I'm on the song. So he's all like, oh, so you got to go with me? And I was all like, I guess so. Like I didn't plan on like going on there. I was just trying to give him the idea because there was a disconnect. And I was like, this is what she means. And then end up finding the rest of the songs like show me how you move. Then the beat goes doot doot doot. Links right here. I'm just playing. But I'm pretty sure we can't find that at all. But that's what like that's was the background. That's how we ended up doing it because it was supposed to be just him, and he would have done like two dope rap songs. Like that would be cool. But she was looking for a more party environment, so that's when I was able to like give you these songs, and then Shamu got involved because he was on one of the songs, and of course I was like, bro, no one knows the song. If you have to freestyle, just freestyle, but make sure you stop on the spot so I can do the chorus, which he did. So like it was mostly improv for his part, but it was overall great time.
No, it wasn't improv. I remember I practiced the song, I had it ready, but when I got up there, I was just so hyped and excited to be there that I was just like, okay, first, we don't buy Grey Goose, we buy, Poville vodka, you know what I'm saying? And I remembered that part. I started going and I was going, and all of a sudden everything went blank. And I was like, damn, dude, just jump into whatever came. And luckily it was all party stuff and it was cool and it worked.
Yeah, that's tight. That's so tight. I didn't perform. I was sick. We got my Vicente Fernandez on. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, but yeah, it was pretty cool. But like I said, man, I do want, hopefully we get, more gatherings and stuff. Definitely missed out on going to the snow, which I wanted to do, but had my surgery and had to get back to fucking getting all my financial shit ready. Was out for like 3 months, so slowly trying to get back into things. But hopefully we can plan some more stuff. We can all go and do. Heard about a food eating challenge. I love food, but I don't know, you guys think I'm skinny, but I can eat. Yeah. Uh,
One
but
thing
yeah,
that I
man.
had, one thing that I had the memory that I'll just put it out there, and I'm pretty sure we'll get around to it. But I think I found the beat to the freestyle challenge, and I had proposed to them because that move goes off the top, improv rap freestyle off the top, if you don't know what that is. And so does David. And I have a local like freestyle, another competitor, another freestyle champ that can make songs just off freestyling. So I was like, I'm gonna give you guys the same beat, and you guys have like 30 minutes to come up with a chorus, a verse, whatever you guys come up with. But once it's done, time's up, we're leaving it as is. And I want to bring people who are non-hip hop listeners, maybe a few, it depends, and have them listen to the song, and they determine who wins this year's freestyle challenge. Oh, I said it this year. It might be an annual thing. Who knows? But just to illustrate one thing we spoke on another podcast was the cool thing about music is it's very very creative. The beat the canvas, and we can draw whatever we want on our canvas with our words. And no matter if you give people a different beat, the same beat, the song would always be different. So that's the cool thing about creating. But that's the framework I'm gonna go with. What's your guys' thoughts? And go.
Sorry, Moo. I have to, do my thing, come out of retirement, man. Damn, man. It's like, mm,
Damn. I mean, I'm super excited, man, because I mean, 30 minutes is a little bit of time. If you could create real quick in 30 minutes, that's pretty, smart. Some of the best songs were made in like short times. I mean, you think about it, there's a lot of classics that they just said we just threw it on the record. I think the Black Sabbath Paranoid. It was just a song they made in 30 minutes, and it's one of the best. We're going through, whatever, the song, whatever. Smoke on Water, same thing. It was the quick song they made up. They just put Beethoven. I think it's the Fifth Harmony or Sympathy. I forget what it is. They just made the notes backwards and they made a song and it's a classic. You know what I mean? So to me, I'm excited to be creative and excited. And I know you said you get 30 minutes, and I'm kind of excited to see what kind of beat it is. Because knowing you, it could be reggaeton, it could be K-pop, it could be EDM. Like, well, I don't know.
I just
Well, I
need
was
five
kind
minutes.
of that's why I was like, I can't say much more than that because like you probably might now that I let the framework down, you guys probably are thinking of ideas of what would like would work for different type of styles. But that's the thing, if I choose a different beat, it's gonna change your whole entire style. So that's why I'm like, I can at least tell you the framework so you guys can get excited about it and and the people who are watching can look forward to that when it comes to them. But I also want to be in the room with you guys to keep the timer, do pauses every 10 minutes and be like, how you feeling right now? Last 5 minutes, I want to pause and be like, yo, you got last 5 minutes. How you feeling right now? You're like, you know what I mean? Because talking about it, but when you're in the situation, might be different. But that's gonna be part of the fun and the challenge. And yeah, we'll go from there. And the other person, just so you know, is another Jaime, but we call his rap name is Tango Cash, which Spanish tango means I have Tango Cash. And that guy can freestyle the whole entire song. I've had songs with him where he just freestyled the whole song with the chorus that he made up on the spot. And I was like, bro's a go. He's the only one of the people that I envy because he can make whole songs without even like writing pen and paper. Actually, if I gave him a pen and paper, he'd probably get mad. He'd be like, dude, I can't do this, bro. I have to freestyle this. It's like
That's what I
respect.
was thinking. That's what I was thinking right now when you're like, stop us. I'm like, I don't write. It's about to be like uncomfortable. I'll probably just record it because I don't write. I hate like I'm a horrible speller. That's why I don't write. But also like when for me, like I don't know, I just think that I can be in the room, like I could write something and then halfway through I'd be like, I don't feel that vibe. Like it's just like what you feel, and making words sound good together is not that hard for me. But that's cool. Like I said, representing one of the Jaimes is gonna win. No, just kidding.
No, but like either way, it's gonna be a J because Jose, Jaime, and Jaime. So like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Represent, I
Yeah.
guess.
What did he
No,
go
I
by?
think
Tango what?
Tango
Tango
Cash.
Cash.
It's gonna be Tango Ash after I'm done with him.
Hey, I'm very competitive. Yeah, I know you're competitive. Everybody's very competitive, and I know that it's gonna be fun to do because I mean, like I said, 30 minutes isn't a long time. You think it is, but it's not. And I mean, to come up with the hook and then come up with verses, and if the song needs three verses, if it needs two verses, or does it need one big long hook, like that's a lot of pressure. And I know that I've seen that before, like challenges like that. But those are cool challenges because it does give a person the creative outlet they need to push themselves. And I know, like you said, you love food. I know we talked about doing food challenges and stuff like that. And I'm excited to do all that with this podcast. And like, I mean, to think about it, like people are like, oh, if you don't go past the second season, you'll never do anything. We're on season 5. Like, whoa, like it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, I'm about to eat. My wife just made food, and she
All
gave
right.
me the you gonna eat or you're not gonna make it to the rap battle because I'm murder you. So I was like, oh shit. Um, happy wife, happy life. You know, I want to get on the Xbox later, so I gotta be nice.
Uh, all right, man. Well, like always, man, thank you guys all for coming to talk to me or whatever. We all love having our guests. I hope you guys loved it too. And definitely check us out. Season 5 is on its way. We got more coming. We do 12 seasons, 12 episodes each season. So, we got more season 6, 7. We have a lot of guests coming up, man. So thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a good night, man.